welcome to Ready for Pushback After Dark. I'm Nik Fialka. Nice to see you tonight, and we are going to have a good time. I have a little bit of a cold, so I'll be drinking this water and trying not to cough into the microphone. Apologies up front. I got 5 sick kids. I got a sick wife, and you sick me and all the things. Dude, we got 171 people in here. Let's go. If you guys are not already part of the Spitfire community, like this will be my pitch right here up front. This is our 15% discount. We usually only do a 10% discount, but tonight, Pilot Update 2025, that's the discount code for tonight, and it expires on January 17th at like midnight. So heads up, we're stoked for y'all. And Sean, can you put that in the chat for us? Pilot Update 2025. All right, so let's get started, okay? Here's how it's going to work. We're going to talk for like 30, 45 minutes. Got a special guest coming on. We're going to chat about a cool topic that I think you guys are interested in. And then I'm going to go in, talk a little bit about what I foresee, the things that are kind of happening right now as the year's kicking off, the conversations that I've been having and hearing and all those things. Also, if I mean, like hot off the presses, it appears that Spirit Airlines is having some kind of rigmarole at the training center. So I just read something about guards removing people from the property that were employees, something have to do with termination. I don't know all the details. My phone hasn't rung yet, but I did see something on there about that. So I'm hoping for the best for whatever's going on with that. And I know there's a bunch of Spirit people in here. We got over 200 people. All right. So let me get in here, and I'm going to promote a panelist here. And let's see. Adam, you are coming over, my man. Let's see. Are you here, my friend? What's up, Adam? Uhan is here. Anybody that knows that symbol. Hey, buddy.
Nik, how are you? I mean, besides being sick, you need a cough button on that thing.
It's true. I just put my hand over the mic. So, y'all, Adam Uhan, founder, president of the Pilot Network. I'm sure all of y'all have heard of Tpn X, which is coming up really soon. And since it is on the cusp, dude, I figured we should chat about it. So, let's go, man. You got a little bit of time to freaking crush us with all the awesomeness about what we're going to be doing at TPN this year.
Well, first and foremost, I just threw the link to ticket purchases for all you out there who are interested in coming to TPN X. TPN X is the non-conference conference for all of you out there who've been to a lot of these. We've done it too. Nik and I are no strangers to standing in line and wearing a suit and tie, getting your resume ready, and trying to be on your best behavior. We understand how it works. Matt and I created a conference. This is going to be our sixth one, 7 years. We had to take a year off for COVID. It started off as a very small conference in Orlando. There might even be some originals that were there at the Orlando event. We had about 80 people show up on the first one. It was really fun. It was really cool. It was really different. We didn't know what we were doing. So we decided that let's try our hand at hosting a different style conference, something that was less formal and more of the squadron bar atmosphere, and going with our motto of the Pilot Network of pay it forward. So we built TPN X. What evolved was the second year. So the first year, the big name on the docket was Southwest. We had no credibility within the industry at that point, so getting recruiters on the horn was a little challenging. And we decided for the next year to see who else we could get. Well, we got one more. We got Horizon, who is kind of small. For those of you who know, Horizon out in the Pacific Northwest, and JetLink showed up, which was a fractional carrier. The next year was even smaller. I think there was like 45 attendees. And one of the things that we heard that Southwest and the other carriers and some of the vendors that were there weren't a lot of vendors. It wasn't very trade show like, is they loved how intimate the setting was. So Matt and I kind of decided that then COVID hit and we had to take a pause. But when we brought it back, I said, hey, we're supposed to be the networking kings. Let's go out there and network and see if we can get these other larger carriers to show up and find a new venue, a different space. And we went to the C terminal in Orlando, which was open for public usage. So we did that there, and I did some networking magic, got real lucky, And that year in 2021, we had Delta, American, Southwest, NetJets. I'm gonna miss a bunch of them in there. I mean, it was a much larger scale conference, and it still held true to the no suit tie atmosphere, and it was a rousing success. The location could not have been beat. Unfortunately, we can't go back there any longer. So we did it again the following year, and we had FedEx showed up at that one too, and that was the last minute, and I got a nod to Tron for that. He helped out with that big time. The next year, we lost FedEx, but we gained United. FedEx is in the process of what they're doing over there now. For those of you who don't know in the industry, I highly suggest to go look up what FedEx and the pilot group is going through over there because it's interesting and it's also going to affect your career at some point in your career, as Nick and I can attest to at our own airline. The thing that you should then take away is we revamped and knew we had to move. So we moved to Minneapolis for a host of reasons because, who doesn't want to be in Minneapolis in April? I mean,
That's right.
it's beautiful. I did play golf there last year. I'm going to be doing that again for those of you who are interested. It's going to be the day prior or 2 days prior to the conference. With that said, we moved up there. We found a venue that's on airport property, which was it's probably going to be the last year that we do that because we've grown the conference. But the idea was never to grow it to this point where there's 4,000 people to attend because that just takes away from some of the intimacy. It takes away from the opportunity for the pilots to go speak to who they want to speak to. One of the things that we incorporated, we were the first conference to do this. I think now a lot of conferences are following suit, is when you go to our conference, and I know this sounds real sales pitchy, so I apologize, but I get super excited talking about it, is we actually have an app that you go and you actually go in and you pick your time slot for when you want to talk to a certain airline. So if you want to meet with Southwest at 10:15 in the morning, and then you want to meet with American at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you can do that. So you can actually schedule your day out to be in and out of the conference. Now, the funny part is so few people want to do that after they get there because of that squadron bar mentality. The reunion piece of it has become huge. Our volunteer force, and this is the biggest thing that tells me that we're on the right track, is our volunteer force is filled with people who've already gotten that last job that we always talk about in this industry, getting to that final place that we're going to work for the rest of our lives. They have come back for multiple years to volunteer. We have one guy who got hired at FedEx, and he said, barring anything in my life, I will be at Tpn X as a volunteer from now until you guys don't do Tpn X anymore. And that speaks volumes to how much they care and what we have tried to do to pay it forward to the community. We also have a lot of experiential stuff. Last year we had the massage chairs that were there. That was a big hit with people. We're trying to get a couple simulators to show off some of the new augmented and virtual reality stuff that's out there. And also it's just fun, takes away from, just walking around the conference. And
you should get a 757 simulator that's just like smells like cigarettes and is like real old.
Oh, dude, you know what? I'll do you one better. Let's just see if we can resurrect a Mad Dog sim and bring it up there.
Yes.
I mean, and we can do sim testing right then and there. Most people will fail out immediately, so you won't have to worry about getting a Part 121 job.
That's right.
And the other thing that we've changed our modality is we realize that a lot of us think that the Part 121 carrier that we want to go to, like for instance, oh, I want to be a United guy. I'm going to be United. United's all I care about. When individuals show up, pilots show up to the conference, I do a little spiel in the beginning and I say, open your aperture. And Nick will talk about this. You'll hear this a lot when you get career consultation from Spitfire, is that aperture needs to be opened up because you don't know what you don't know right now, especially for you military transition folks. Some of you are retiring at an older age. You're more seasoned, more experienced. You're hitting that closer to 50 than you were to 40 kind of thing. And the dynamic of the seniority list has changed like nobody's ever seen in the last 3 years. So you think I'm going to be a 777 captain at United. Well, that may not be the case. You have to look deep into their seniority list to realize that may not occur for you. So there may be other options that are out on the table that are better for you and your family. And that's what we try to do at Tpn X, is to give you that whole big view of what is out there, because the reality for all of us is especially the military type, is we've been beaten into our head. You're going to serve your 20 years or serve however long, and then you're going to go to a major carrier and that's it. Well, those days are changed quite significantly. There's some other really great opportunities out there that nobody even knew about. For instance, one of the attendees this year, one of the recruiting teams that come and that we're working with closely at TPN is Maitreya Strategic Services. They are the new kid on the block when it comes to contract air refueling. They're basically building an entire squadron of airplanes. Their pay is pretty much rivals an 8-year wide body FO at a major airline. They have an incredible work schedule, a great team to work with. And I think it's like 15 days a month for full time. And they also have part time opportunities. So for some of you guard tanker guys out there who aren't getting your flight hours, boom, instead of going to a regional carrier, that might be the job that you want to go get hours and a job that you already know and have. It's that fun piece that you're going to miss when you get out of the military, because I promise you, having just retired in August of 23, I, I don't miss flying the tanker. I definitely don't miss going to drill, but I do miss a little bit of that camaraderie, and I have to actually force that on a regular basis. So there are opportunities out there that may be different than what you're thinking about right now. And trust me, I know you're like, oh, listen, talking head, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been there. I've done all this. I was an ACMI guy at Atlas for a little while. I flew contract work in Afghanistan before I got my last job at a Part 121 carrier. And I'll tell you what, I go fly the line, but this is the stuff I really enjoy. This is the stuff that gets me up, keeps me going. I've been working on some really cool stuff for TPN. I'll tease it right now. We're actually working on a 7-step transition, military to civilian transition checklist. We've got a bunch of them that are coming out for different pilots in different phases of their career. But this is the one we're going to start with because that's TPN crux demographic, if you will. And the idea behind it is, hey, we know that you need to go to Spitfire because, well, frankly, nobody else does what they can do. So we're going to tell you, we're going to give you that checklist that you've been drilled into your head since the day you graduated pilot training. Run this checklist and you can't go wrong. That's what we're trying to do for you. Run that checklist. It's going to be free. You'll just download it PDF. Run that checklist. It'll tell you who to go see and where to go, because TPN isn't the place that you're going to go to get all the answers or the direct. It's not there to give you the answers. It's the catalyst to give you the direction to go to the people who do. What do we always say as instructors, for those of you who are instructors out there? I don't know, but I bet you I can find the answer. We go back to the book, or we tell them to go look in the book. It's the same kind of premise. We've got some other cool features that are going to come out with that. Plus, we're working more on staffing services and recruiting from within our network, because we want to be the people that give you the opportunity to find those other jobs that are out there to get you to where you want to be in the future, because things are changing in the airlines that Nick's going to talk a lot about. So TPN X in April, I believe it's April. Let me pull up the dates. I still throw the old dates in my head of 16 and 17, but I think it's actually 15th and 16th. Nope, it's 16 and 17, Minneapolis at the airport. We're also going to have a party pass this year for our returnees who just want to come and have beers and have a good time. And that's going to be separate. They won't get in the way of any interview or one-on-one meet and greet kind of things. For people who are going there solely for that purpose, which that's what you'll go there to start with, but you'll end up doing a hell of a lot more. Right now, committed airlines are Southwest. We just got American committed today, and they're going to bring a huge presence. Hopefully, they're going to have even more CJOs than they did last year. I think it was 24 last year. And if you look at the conference size of all the other conferences that are out there, and they're all great. All the affinity groups are awesome. We love them. We have a great relationship, working relationship with all of them. They come to our conference. They actually recruit members to come and join their groups. But our conference is by number the smallest, and we had the most percentage of CGO. That's a little tip of the cap to what the volunteers did at TPNX to get those people through. So FlexJet's going to be there. They bring it great. They have normally one of the best parties on the block. We'll have Endeavor Envoy for those of you who are looking to just kind of cut your teeth. And by the way, it's not sometimes just cutting your teeth. You may find that they have a base that you can live in for the rest of your career, make just good enough money that you can and pick a schedule because your seniority is going to skyrocket. I remember talking to a guy who PSA was his final destination after having a chat with him, because he realized he was going to have to commute to work the rest of his career because he wasn't moving. He did not want to do that. He was a Marine aviator who was just turning 50, and he realized that this was a better option for him. I already talked about Maitreya, Sun Country. There's others that are in conversation right now. Unfortunately, Delta is not going to be able to make it. They're probably going to do some sponsorship, but they are cutting costs this year and Nick's going to get into what that industry looks like. Their recruiting numbers are going down a little bit. They have a huge pool that they're already pulling from. We're hoping for some others to join. We've got talks with Frontier and some of the other carriers that are out there. Lots of different vendors. That's one thing that we have at our conference. We have 4 pilot by pilot programs that are out there. I can think of 2 that come off the top of my head. There's Aviation Resource. I'm butchering it. It's ARS. They're a financial consulting group started by an airline pilot who became a certified financial professional. Fantastic guy, Alex Tappy. I work with him. We have Turbine Capital that does real estate syndication just for pilots alone. I have a lot of money in Turbine, and Tate, who is a pilot at Hawaiian, does fantastic work. They bring it. Of course, the Spitfire guys are going to be there with their lounge and their speeches and getting you ready to go in and crush those meet and greets and then kill your interviews. They not only bring it during the conference, they bring it well after hours. And since we've got the DJ this year, they don't have to go out and get their own.
That's right. That's what we do.
Yep. So it's more than just a conference. It's going to be a place that you're going to want to come back to year in and year out and see your old friends and make new ones and hopefully get really connected with the network. We're going to be launching a chapters program this year. For TPN chapters all throughout America that can meet up and have these analog offline meetings. We're going to throw some money from TPN headquarters at them to go out and do that kind of thing because Matt and I have never taken a salary. Hopefully one day we can. But the idea is to get out there and give back to the community that's given us so much and take away what we didn't have in the beginning, which was knowledge. We didn't have
That's right.
and we needed to learn it from somebody else. That's what we're here for. Nick, thank you very much. I hope it was quick, down, dirty. TPN X, 16, 17 April. We want to see you there and come up, say hi. Maybe I got a free something for you. Shirt, who knows? There's a lot of free crap that we give away at the conference, but I'll give you something special. So
it's good stuff. I got a hat, so
yeah.
I wear it all the time.
Yeah, and this right here. This is TPN branded, but this is a gift from the boys at Spitfire. Bill and
That's right.
Tron always hook me up. So love what Spitfire's doing. I cannot say enough good things about what you're going to get, not only from Nick, but the whole team at Spitfire. It is an honor for me to join conference or these webinars like this when I get the opportunity. And I'm just glad that an organization like this and a company like this was created because there was a lack of it in interview prep and career consultation. You are in the best hands that you could possibly be in. So listen to these guys. They will point you in the right direction.
Dude, thank you, Adam. Thank you for coming out and spending your evening with us. TPN X is absolutely one of my favorite times. So I'm going to drop you and put you back into the crowd. How do I do that? I don't know. But there you go. You just hang there. And Sean, if you can figure out how to unpanelist him, I don't even know. But that'll be cool. Y'all, what's up? Welcome. I'm glad you're here tonight. What a chaotic time. I know everybody, we got 271 people here. That is absolutely wild. We're going to talk a couple things today. Let's kind of zoom out, take a macro view and talk about from big picture down to smaller picture. And then I want to answer your questions. And the way we're going to do that, I think the chat is locked up. So there's another one down there that says Q&A. And the way we're going to handle that is if you can just type your question in the Q&A. I got Sean over here in the wings. That's just, he is there to help guide me along with the questions to be able to get through every single question and that we can. We got about 45 minutes or so. Pardon me one second. This cough, man. Listen, also don't fly sick. I'm sick. I'm not flying. Y'all don't fly sick. But I will tell you this, 2025 can go either way. And so there's a lot of trepidation and a lot of uncertainty about some of those big muscle movements. We talked right off. If you weren't here at the very beginning, Spirit Airlines just had a thing go on this evening with armed personnel and some people in the training department, apparently. That's just word that I got. That don't treat that as gospel. I don't know. But something stirring over there. And their initial request with entering bankruptcy is that they were going to emerge from bankruptcy in the first quarter. And so here we are. We're in the first quarter. We're almost at the end of January, and we will see. We will see what they do, and we're all hoping for a win, right? We're all hoping for a win, but that doesn't go well. and they end up closing the doors, we're going to have a whole lot of real qualified pilots hitting the streets, which is going to suck up a lot of the oxygen in the room. The other side of that coin is if you're watching, um, American Airlines just pulled the contract from Air Wisconsin. So that is really going to constrict their operations and their capabilities and their need for pilots. And so they could very well be on task for a potential furlough in the springtime. Another thing that just kind of rattled my cage a little bit was Mesa Airlines selling some of their 175s. And as these smaller companies start divesting aircraft and losing people like that, creates a ripple effect throughout. So I talked to American, I talked to United, I talked to Delta, and everybody's got their idea of what they want to do and how they want to hire. And um and right now they're finishing each of those three airlines has a big pool of people that they gave job offers to back in 2024. And those people are waiting to get class dates, and they're slowly trucking through these class dates. Some classes are bigger than others. And so anybody that's interviewing is kind of getting interviewed to be in a pool. And everybody getting interviewed to be on the pool is going to be there for a period of time. And so there is, even though, they might be pulling 800 and something people from Delta this year, they've already got 500 in the pool. So really that number is much, much smaller that they're going to be interviewing and giving a job offer for this year. That being said, that doesn't mean there's no opportunities on the table. Okay. I want everybody in here to be thinking about the fact that 2022, 23, and the first part of 24, like that's in the past. And we are in a tricky spot. I didn't even talk about Boeing. I don't know why. Not like they're doing anything. But Boeing has to get their trash together and get things going with the new administration coming in. Yesterday, they had the new transportation secretary doing his hearing. And I mean, they're very bullish on wanting Boeing to succeed, but also putting the things in place to make sure that their quality and safety is up there. So it's still going to, I mean, it's not like they're going to get a free pass. They're going to have a big uphill battle. And with those aircraft not getting delivered, there's less of demand for pilot. So like I was saying earlier, I want y'all to focus on what are the other things you can do? What are the other avenues you can take? And like Adam said, I want you to open your aperture, right? And and that aperture means taking a look around the entire aviation landscape. That's where you're going to find success. If you are if you're coming at this, there's a bunch of different people in here, almost 300 now. We have people that are leaving the military, they're looking for a job. If you're a heavy pilot or a fighter guy or gal or something that has a lot of complex fixed wing time, you're probably in a pretty good spot. If you're a helicopter person like me, coming through that world, those RTP programs are not really there right now, and the opportunities are less. So you have to open your aperture, get to those places where you can go fly. Apologies. And that might mean uh, you know helicopter guys and gals, everybody knows, like hardship deployment. You might have to take one in the United States and go do something in North Dakota or out in Texas or somewhere far away from you. You might have to go find something as a temporary placeholder to get you moving forward, because once you start getting in that zone and moving forward, like, you're going to have success rapidly, and that's a good thing. But getting your foot in the door in that first spot can be tricky. And so the further out that you guys can plan, if you're 2 years out today from getting out of the military, you're already behind. Like, you need to, like, encourage your buddies. 36 months out, like just start moving forward, start going in, start trying to find a way to make a plan for yourself that you can pivot from. You can slide left, you can slide right. This is not working anymore. Now I got to go to do this, but you got to get all your things in order and make it happen. I'm not just talking to the military people as well. When I look across the regional landscape, I see a lot of stagnation with the in the junior bases where people are not flying a lot and are kind of feeling stuck. Those people that are kind of midway up that seniority list are probably feeling pretty good right about now, but being on the back half of that seniority list can be a really tough thing. And so the biggest thing I can do is encourage you to keep going, find the ways that you can keep flying. But if you're not flying right now, I want you to think of this as like the biggest opportunity you could possibly have. I want you to I want you to find a way to get involved in aviation. I want you to find a way to give back more than you're taking because this is your opportunity to separate yourself. If you're at an airline, maybe you're at a regional or something like that, get involved with a safety department, maybe a LOSA observer, maybe you have an experience with CRM, maybe you can be a sim instructor, maybe you can be a ground school instructor, maybe you can be on the recruiting team. Like, look at all those opportunities. Go meet those people because the email part of this doesn't really work. It's a relationship job, and those relationships that you can build will get you in the door. So, a little easier said than done, but that's how you're going to have to make it happen for yourself. Maybe you can get involved with ALPA or whatever union you guys have. If you're at SkyWest, they've got that student council thing that they have. It's still a good thing to get involved with. Um, find your way through that. Such a good opportunity. Then look at affinity groups. All right, look at OBAP, look at NGPA, look at Women in Aviation, PAPA, LPA, Sisters of the Sky, Professional Pilots of Tomorrow. All of these TPN X. All of these organizations, they have different ways to get involved and to give back. And if you're not flying right now, if you are having a hard time, those are ways you can make it happen for yourself. Civil Air Patrol, look around your local airports. Those kind of things are really, really, really good opportunities to get involved. And those people that get involved, they care. And if they see that you care and that they care, who knows? Maybe it's a chief pilot at United. Maybe it's a person who flies for UPS. Maybe it's an Atlas 747 captain. You never know who you're going to run into. But if you stay in the aviation community to do your giving back, that's where you'll find the most success. That's just how it works. And so stick with it. For my for my second career people that, I was kind of like me too, trying to get into this aviation world, stick with it. Keep getting the hours. If you bought a plane and you're like, shoot, man, what should I do? Like, find somebody to split the hours with you and keep going. I want to encourage everybody, right? If you are encouraged to make this happen, it will happen. And it's all about your aperture and your patience. It might take you longer than expected to go to a major airline. If you don't know my story, I owned a business before. I owned an RV park actually before going to the airlines. And being prime military, I thought it was going to be super, super quick run into the airlines from where I was. So I got on with a regional. I flew with them. I thought it was going to be like 8 months. It ended up being 4.5 years. And that 4.5 years before I even got a look from anybody else was so hard to get through because I felt like everybody else was getting it ahead of me. Everybody else was doing the thing that I didn't get a chance to do. And I understand that. And the best advice I got was pull your head out of your ass. Who do you think you are? You're nobody special. And that was told to me by a pretty influential person at American Airlines. And it was the best thing I'd ever heard because I realized like, it's not me like this, all this will pass. All of it will happen. This timing will be fortuitous and it will be good and I will be success. And before the show, before the flying at the majors, like all that stuff. And so be encouraged with that. If you're young, if you're in your 20s and you're out of school and you got $300,000 loan, I get it. So you have something going for you that none of these other people have. And that is the fact that you are probably single and you have the ability to go out to Wyoming and you have the ability to go fight fires in Pacific Palisades because that sounds really cool. And they need you know, guys fighting fires from the sky. Or maybe you want to go fly in the Caribbean or whatever, Tropic Ocean Airways, or who knows what there is, but you can really open that aperture and you can really go do something. Try to get your hours, get your training, get to where you understand the aircraft well. But once you hit that inflection point where you're like, man, I need to kind of leave the nest a little bit and get further out, go big. Like just go. You've got one chance to live this life and you just go freaking do it. Go to Alaska. Go fly out there and do crazy stuff in Alaska, man. Do whatever it is. Go get your seaplane rating. I don't know. Like be that person that just turns over every single rock. Like that's what's up. So, big picture, I'll tell you. I reached out to the directors of hiring at the majors on this phone right here. What do I say? I would say that we're continuing to hire. We've gotten through our backlog and we've got thousands of more people to hire over the next couple of years. Tell them to be inspired. Like that's from one director of hiring. Here's another one. Uh, all right. This is so important. This goes across every single landscape. Like this from director of hiring. Bring your original documents. Do not bring any copies. I will caveat that with bring backup copies just in case. But if you need an original of something, you need to have an original. If you do not have that original, you need to reach out ahead of time to the recruiting office and email them or get something where they respond to you. If you do not get a response, print out the email that you sent and bring it with you so that you can show them in the interview. That's so important. If the airline has some kind of like like first get to know you admin interview before you go to an in-person interview, you need to be ready for it. You need to be on your game for that. There are so many people that fail their chance because they're not ready. They think it's not the real interview. So if somebody's calling you ahead of time from the airline to talk about anything, it's an interview. So you guys got to get locked in. Bring your logbook. Bring the correct logbook. Make sure your hours are logged correctly. Make sure the numbers add up. Make sure you sign the page. Like that is important. And follow every instruction on every application and in every communication. That is literally on my phone from a director of hiring. Like I said, what is it? What is it that I can tell these people tonight that's the most important thing? And what is it that you want to tell everybody? And that is fire right there, y'all. So that is such good information. I'm glad that I brought it up and I'm glad to get it out there because I'm glad I didn't forget. So get your stuff together. Follow all of those directions. If you get the opportunity to go interview anywhere, you've got to be 110% on your game. And if, now let's talk about this. I got one of my guys called me today who does application review, and he has been struggling a lot with people putting their information out there, submitting applications, getting them sent off, all those resumes done before our team has had a chance to review it. And so when you send that off, they're going to take one look and there's your first look. And it's going to be red or green. You're going to go or you're not. And so you want that application to be as good as you possibly can the very first time you bring it forward. That resume should be tight before you even start going down the path of networking. Like all of that stuff, like you have to have your house in order before you can leave the house. All right. It is vital that y'all do that. And I get a lot of regrets from people that have gone down this path made a mistake and like, oh, I should have had my resume looked at first. Oh, I should have really paid attention to my application before I submitted it. Oh, I didn't know that that first conversation was going to really be an interview. Oh man, I had a chief pilot meet and greet, and they asked me all these interview questions, and I bombed it and I blew it. Like I I hear that. I hear it all the time, y'all. And the like this stage that is here is all about trying to tell you you can do it. We can do this together. Listen to these tips. These are the best tips for your success. We're all in this together. Let's make it happen. So that's what I want. I want all those phone calls to stop that like, oh man, this thing happened to me. I should have done it the other way. I want them more the like, I did this and I did this and I did that and I got the job just like you said. Freaking awesome. Those are my favorite ones to get. So we're gonna do some questions. All right. I need to drink this water. I think I'm gonna die of coughing. Hold on one sec. When you have a chest cold, it is note to self, don't lead any webinars like that. Um, I will I will say I want to crush this tonight and have a good time. I'm going to be drinking this water as we go. Your grace, your forgiveness is much appreciated. So here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is right here. Um, I have my um, I have my chat sitting here, and Sean, if you guys got a question, there's already a bunch of questions in the Q&A side. Drop a question in there. Sean is in the background making sure everything's right, and he's going to start bringing these up to me, and I'm going to start knocking them out. Um, all right, let's see here. Do you recommend summaries on resumes or are they a waste of space? Um, they're straight up waste of space. And here's why. I actually have a show coming out about this. Thank you for asking that. That's a this is a such a good question. There's so many people that want to hear this answer. They are a waste of space because every inch that you have on your resume is so vital. And you you want to be a pilot, right? That's it. Pilot. You're looking to be a pilot. Let's be a pilot. They know. So what you need right there in that space, you need your name, you need your address, you need your email address, you need your phone number, you need your flight hours, you need any certifications and type ratings that you got, and then one pager. We're only one pager in our resume, and then succinct points about those jobs that you had that are relevant to your experience. I get it. I get it. You're an '06. You're an '07. You've done all the things. You're born with a Bowie knife in your mouth. Like I get it. Put the things on there that are important, that are relevant to the job, and you need maybe 3 bullet points max. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about safety. We're going to talk about CRM. If you can talk about that, then it's a good bullet to have on your resume. Why? Because they're looking at it. If and they want to know if you flew a jet or a plane or whatever. If it's flight school, like don't nobody cares. But if you're an instructor at a flight school, yeah, they care. Or if you flew if you're flying at a regional and you're flying a 145 or a CRJ or whatever, put the name of the company, the type of aircraft you're flying, that kind of thing, right? And the dates on that top line. It helps the person's going to take about 7 seconds to look at your resume, helps things stand out. Don't put a picture of yourself. You see that picture of Sean over there? He's a beautiful man. We don't want that picture on a resume. Uh, we don't want any weird graphics. We don't want any like borders, none of that stuff. Like make it nice and easy. Go to spitfirelead.com/podcast. Go get yourself my resume. You can download a simple PDF template and fill it all in. I got another thing coming that's going to help make that even easier in the future, but just stick with me. All right. Great question, my man. I'm a 1,500-hour CFI. Is it too competitive for me to get hired at a regional currently? Oh, buddy. You know what? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. I would say you need to be doing those things that you can to be in a complex environment. The more complex the aircraft, you get into some King Air action or you get into something faster and flies farther than just a Cessna. Like whatever you can do to kind of get yourself going. I heard somebody talking about banner towing the other day. It's kind of a fun one. Or the aerial survey people, like that could be, that can be a tough job to get. But look at what's around and look, keep moving yourself forward. Can you get to a regional at 1,500 hours? Yes, you can. But you've got to find a way to separate yourself. You got to find a way to network your way into that job. Um, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Right now, just having hours is kind of like a dance club in New York City, right? There's like this long line at the dance club, people waiting to get in, waiting to get in. Well, all those people have 1,500 hours or 2,000 hours. And then there's some people that just kind of like walk up to the front, high five the bouncer, and like walk right in. And what makes those people different might be who they are, but they didn't get to be who they are without doing a little bit of hard work and getting to know the people that were important and influential. And that's what I want to task you with. Like that's your goal, is to like go out there and find them. They are all like, you can go to this computer right here, has my LinkedIn in it, and every single one of them are connected with me on LinkedIn. So if you're not already connected with me, like, that's a starting off point. But it's only a starting off point. And so you've got to be very careful about how you network and how you can't be too transactional and things like that. That's about, but yeah, you can get there with 1,500 hours. Is it likely? It's a big uphill battle. You've really got to make it happen for yourself. And so you can, and I encourage you to, and I want you to, and I want you to come on the show and tell me how you crushed it when you did. All right. But also stay motivated and stay excited about it. All right. Can you touch on mandatory retirements? Hopefully it's 65 still. Every now and then it brings up 60. All right, mandatory retirements at the big three. Where do they stack up over the next 3 years? Past their bubble. All right. The most for retirements are coming out of American. Their peaks in the mid, the back half towards 2030, like 27-ish, I think. But like what that means to you is like there's still opportunity, right? Delta passed theirs, I think, in 22, and then United's, like, the peak, I want to say, was might be last year. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The answer is it doesn't matter. What it does mean is that the opportunity is still there. They're still trying. Everybody's still trying to grow business. Delta just posted $1.4 billion profit. Like, hell yes. You know how you get a profit like that? You fly airplanes. And you know what you need? You need more airplanes. You need bigger airplanes. You need wide bodies. You need narrow bodies. You need regional jets to bring these people to and from the hubs, so they can get on these wide bodies. Like, business travel is just starting to get back to where it was pre-COVID. Like, there's a lot of opportunity still, and it's not just retirements. Don't worry about that. Don't let that be part of your calculus. The only time it really starts to matter is when people are 64 and they're like, damn it, I got too many divorces to go ahead and retire. Like, I got to keep working. So, anyway, age 67 is for a different conversation. I have no opinion. Let's see here. We've got updates on Southwest, my dream airline. Do you think Southwest will hire soon? Well, if you want to go to Southwest right now, currently the only way through the door is the Destination 225. I will say there's no honor among thieves in this industry. And the reason I say that right now when I talk about 225 is because of this. Southwest is doing awesome right now in the fact that they are bringing on the people that are in the 225 program this year. They're not going to be picking up anybody in 2025. They said that last year. They said they're not planning to hire. Hopefully things change. Hopefully the Elliott Group like moves out of there and all that stuff. But right now, the only way in the door at Southwest is Destination 225. And the fact that they're honoring that and they're bringing people in like that, like, that's a high five to Southwest all day long. Anybody that's been at an American airline wholly owned and has seen the fluctuations in the starting and stopping of flow through agreements, like, it's a real heartache, and it's not a guarantee, but it's a good, these cadet programs. Sorry, y'all. these cadet programs are a real good sales pitch for a regional. So that's really what they are. But yeah, man, I Southwest is a great company. They do all sorts of good stuff. Stick with it. They'll come back around. All of this comes back around. All of it. It ebbs, it flows. We got to be positive. We got to be the people who make things happen. All right, that's awesome. Delta announcing 500 new pilots this year. What ratios are anticipated? I know Endeavor pilots have a flow through. There is a flow through, but it's not 50-50. And I don't even want to, I don't know the number. I don't want to guess the number because somebody's going to like throw darts at me and all the YouTube comments are going to be even worse than they already are. They are bringing on, they do want to bring on 500-ish people. The number of CJOs they're going to be offering this year, I think, are significantly less. The classes that are starting now are people that were hired mid 2024, like June, like May, June, that kind of stuff. And they're slow rolling the classes. If Boeing would deliver a damn airplane, like they'd have more classes. They have their the growth focus of United and Delta are a little bit different. Delta has a slower growth profile than United does right now. And so there'd probably be more people coming in off the streets at United than there are at Delta, certainly more, and at American. All right, let's see. What else we got? What are some beneficial volunteer opportunities good for resume? Yeah, man. Ace Academy, working with OBAP, doing any kind of academy that you can go volunteer with to help teach people about aviation. Any of those opportunities, go be present to, like, go with other pilots and be present to them. If you happen to be a lady, you should 110% be involved in women aviation. We just had the Girls in Aviation Day, I don't know, maybe 3-4 months ago. And there, listen, I went there. I took my daughter there, and Kate, the girl that does the intro, and we went to Peachtree DeKalb Airport in Atlanta. And by God, it was like a recruiting reunion. It was like going to the Women in Aviation conference. I could not believe how many people were there that were doing that. And boy, there was some networking going on, and there were some ladies there that were, they were all there to help little girls learn about aviation. We had so much freaking fun. But really, what was happening is those young ladies that were hosting it were sliding in really good with some hardcore networking and actually getting opportunities from that. Anything like that, anything at your local airport. If you live in a big hub, you live in Atlanta, you live in Dallas, you live in, San Francisco, New York, something like that. Like, go to those things that the local airports put on. Those people there, man, like, those are the people that make things happen. The people that are involved with aviation in their spare time are the people that can help you. You can get letters of recommendation out of it. You can get some mentorship. You can get all sorts of good stuff. Stay involved with all that. All right. Let's see. That was a great question. Ba-da-bum. And put that on your resume so you can talk about it. For those senior regional FOs, 1,000 hours SIC that have their bid in to upgrade but haven't been awarded yet due to the captain's slowdown. Is there any hope for us this year? Will it go to the meet and greets? I would say okay. I know that, like, I get the captain slowdown. I think this is how it used to be. I don't want to be the old man here, but this is kind of how it used to be. You would get hired, you would be an FO, you'd hit your 1,000 hours, and then you'd be like 1,800 hours, and finally your number would come up, and you had the opportunity to upgrade. And a lot of people would chill out and choose not to upgrade because they wanted to be a senior FO a little bit longer, and they didn't want to go to the faraway commute and fly on reserve and fly once or twice a month. They wanted to keep banging out hours. So if you're going to upgrade and you're going to be at the faraway base and you're never going to fly, then the upgrade doesn't seem worth it. It just doesn't seem worth it. It seems like you can pad your resume with other things. You can spend that other time like getting involved better. And like it's not the end all be all just because you don't have that 1,000 hours of captain time. It's those extra things that you're going to do. They're going to be like, oh, hell yeah. Like, look, this person's in the recruiting department. Oh man, this person works in the safety department or chief pilot office or line check airman or whatever the thing, right? He with the most call, she with most calls wins. So do those things, but also don't get discouraged because not everybody can do all of the things all of the time. And so don't get discouraged and find the place where you fit best. All right. So keep your head up with that because I don't want you to get discouraged when you're like, damn it, Nick, I'm already doing all this bullshit. I know. I know you are. You're doing it. It's cool. Just keep working it together. All right. Great question about the regional FO thing. If I had to do it right now, I probably would hang out as an FO and keep banging out hours. Then I would go in to get no time at all as a captain. And if I'm just, the recruiters know. So if you can, I didn't really answer your question. If you can get in front of them, if you live near a place and you can go split a hotel room with a buddy, because if you go to a conference, you go to Tpn X, it's going to cost you $1,000. It's going to be a hotel. It's going to be food. Might be travel. It's going to be cost of getting in. It's going to be cost of like getting your suit tailored because you got fat this Christmas. And it's going to be $1,000. That's usually what I tell people. So if it's going to be $1,000 and you can offset the cost by about $300-400 by splitting a room with a buddy, like maybe an opportunity. If you can drive there and drive back, maybe an opportunity. Just knock it out in one day, maybe an opportunity. If you knock it out in one day and somebody's like, hey, will you be here tomorrow? Because I really want to talk to you about something. By God, you better sleep on the streets because you come stay with me. But be ready for opportunity, serendipity to strike. Okay. So that's what I'll say about that. Does it really help to take the ATP CTP course through Atlas or Delta to get a potential job offer? It does help. Wondering you really meet people that can help your career. Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. If you've got to spend the money to do it, you might as well put all the cards in your favor. Also, if it's a huge life problem for you, like if there's some big reason, like this is like a huge sacrifice, well, then don't use the opportunity some other way. It won't it's not the thing that's going to get you the job. It's a culmination of a lot of different parts of your life that are going to make you awesome, that are going to make the airlines want to spend more time with you. So think about that. All right. If you have a better opportunity somewhere cheaper, somewhere faster, something you don't have to wait on, then that opportunity cost is worth it to go get it done faster and get to a job quicker. That could be the difference. So it depends, right? Just like every other answer I give, it's like, yeah, it kind of depends. All right, I got a couple more questions, and then we're gonna call it a night because this is not going awesome for my throat here. Thank God for Bill getting me this cool, ready for pushback mug. Awesome. All right, it's been widely discussed that if your final destination is X carrier, you want to avoid X carriers, wholly owned regionals like the plague. All right. As hiring is slowing, is that advice still legit, too legit to quit, or will it pay to be loyal to the brand? Personally, I don't have an issue with waiting it out of the flow. All right. So this is a heavy question. The question is, should I go and kind of roll with the flow? And you can talk to my buddy Curtis. He and I started at we went to Envoy. He and I started at the same time at Envoy and the same day. And he chilled out and waited for the flow because he lives in South Florida. He's super easygoing. Like that's his personality. And he made it to American about 28 months after I had been at my major. And he had no stress with it. He was super easy going with it. He was happy to kind of wait it out and mellow through it. And that was the right personality to take to kind of follow this flow. You've got to go in there thinking like it's probably going to be somewhere between 6 and 8.5 years to flow, depending on all the different things. If there's another COVID or there's some more, they stop flying or whatever, like all those numbers could change. So I think to answer your question, if I want to go to X, if you want to go to carrier X, but you play the game of going to the other regional, well, then I want you to be okay with carrier Y. And so no matter which one you go to, I want you to be happy about it in the long run. You're taking a gamble, maybe. You're taking an educated guess, you're taking a risk, but you're deciding that you're going to pull the trigger on this strategy. It may or may not pan out. And so whatever it pans out to, you can't be looking over your shoulder wishing that it was something else. And so if you do that, then really what you're getting is peace of mind and a heart that, that can sleep at night. And that's what I want. Like, all these jobs are good. We'll all get to where we want to be, but I want your heart to be full and satisfied. And I want you to be able to sleep at night next to your spouse and smile and know that it's a good life. Because if it is, then that's all that matters. All this job stuff, all this work, this is just one of those things on our road to what our life really is. And so take that and all the things we've talked about tonight and know that you are a good pilot. You are good enough to go do all these things. And at the end of the day, highs, lows, failures, successes, like all of it is just making sure you have somebody in your life that loves you and that you love them and that you can just move forward and participate in what you've got. And that's what makes that's the realness, like that's the wholeness of this life. So I want you to think about that and be positive about it. I'll be doing more of these throughout the year. I'm thankful that you would come, 280 of you ish that showed up tonight. I hope that it was fruitful. If you want to reach out to me and you want to talk personally about something, you can email me podcast@spitfireelite.com. Podcast@spitfireelite.com. That's me. It might take a day or two to get through things, but I'm happy to chat with you about whatever. I'm going to be taking this and probably putting it on the old YouTubes and other stuff. But look, y'all, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for spending the time. Hopefully this was a valuable hour. Thank you so much to Adam Uhan for telling us about Tpn X, and you can go check it out over there on the website. Again, Sean for helping us out. And you remember, Pilot Update 2025 is what we're going to be doing for our, let me get that on the screen there. That 15% off coupon code at Spitfire. So if you guys are not part of our community already, there are so many people that are, but if there's somebody out there that needs to be part of us, hit us up. It expires on Friday. So thank you so much for being here. I'm thankful for you guys, and let's just keep it going. You're awesome. All right, pilots, that's a wrap on this episode, and I know what you're thinking. You need to make yourself a little bit better. So how do you make yourself a little bit better? You tighten up your resume. So here's what I want you to do. Go over to my website, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and you can download my free resume template. It is tight, organized, and it's the perfect pilot resume. It's just something I like to do for the pilot group, and it is free to you. So go over there, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and download your free resume template. While you're over there, look at all the services that we offer. Lots of great interview prep, lots of great application review. Everything you need to be a professional pilot is right there. spitfireelite.com/podcast. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next episode.